think it's a game?
You're listening to the sound of DJ Matt.
Hey, what is going on, guys? DJ Matt, MAD once again, and with another tutorial, Cubase 8.5, and this right here is my very first track that I ever made with Cubase 8.5. I did it today on release date. I did not waste any time, and I think it sounds really cool. This is for all my techno heads. This is straight techno track. I'm just going to be putting a couple of final touches on this track, and I'm just going to walk you guys through it so you guys check it out and all that good stuff. So right now, we got everything already set up. All the elements are here, a whole bunch of stems. The only thing that I don't have on stems is the bass, which I am going to, I am going to stem out right now by bouncing in place. Well, not bouncing in place, or what's the name of this thing? Not bouncing in place, but render in place. Okay, so we're gonna render this thing real quick, and we're just gonna wait a second because it's gonna take a couple of seconds for this to do so. By the way, guys, don't forget to leave your comments on the description on the comments below, and ask whatever tutorials you guys want to see. And what would you like for me to produce on Cubase 8.5 so you guys could get a hand on all the new features and all that good stuff. All right, just waiting for this to do what it's supposed to do. It says 32 seconds and waiting, so let's just wait for a second. By the way, don't forget, shameless plug while this is rendering, go check my stuff out on tracksource.com. Just search for DJ Matt, or you can just search for my label, which is Digital Wax. All right, so I got a lot of good stuff. Some of the tutorials that I have made over here on my channels, I have a couple of things there as well, with the tracks that I made the tutorials with. So there you go, it's almost done, and Shazam! Bass is officially done. So there was a part over here that I wanted to fix the bass a little bit. Not actually fix it, but more like lower the volume. Check out the track real quick. Well, let me just do this part, and then you guys can check it out. Alright, so I'm gonna play from this break, so you guys can get the full impact as far as like when it drops and all that. I think it has a really cool bass groove. It's on C minor pentatonic, C pentatonic minor, or however you pronounce it. Very cool techno track. Heard it in the car and a couple of times already, and I really like it. So far so good. I just want to duplicate this a couple of times. These claps, make it a little. that should be enough. So if you guys want to know what I use to mix them, well, mixing is all about you, how you feel about the track, and it also comes with tons of experience as far as like the sound that you want, and most importantly, trying to match the sounds that are out there. As far, with the genre that you're doing, you kind of have to try to match the sound that's being produced out there, so when your track is played, it won't sound out of place. So I got the mixer over here. This is my situation. I got all the percussions and bass and effects, vocals all routed, which is bass, kick, percussion, effects, leads, and vocals, and then all of that goes into the master. Sometimes I will have all of this going into another bus, which will be a pre-master. Depending on the track, if it's not too big, I don't have to separate it. Now, if I will have a whole bunch of vocals and a beat, then I will send all the beats into its own bus, and then I will send all the vocals into its own bus, and then they will meet together in the master. I don't know if that makes any sense for you guys. So I didn't do too much on this. The only thing that I did on the percussion, I EQ'd it a little bit, and then I added a solid bus compressor, Native Instruments solid bus compressor, there you go, and a very slow attack, which is 0.1. No, I'm sorry, release 0.1, attack was at 10. Makeup just a little bit, just to make up for the loss. Ratio is very high. I put it at 10, and then the threshold from 8.0. That's where I put it. So basically, all it does is just, kind of like squashes everything a little bit and gives it that sound of, that big studio type of compression sound. I mean, this right here is modeled after the SSL compressor. So that's what we got going on over here. And then from here, my mix on my actual mix compared to my before the master chain is actually pretty good. Yeah, it's a very simple track. It's a kick bass driven track. So as long as it both have that space, we're good. I'll walk you through all the stuff that I use on the master chain. The first thing that I used was Fab Filter Pro Q2. I used a preset called Cut Low Sides, and these two things come up, and then I just added a low cut, and I'm cutting 31 hertz and under. I'm cutting all of it because the ear can actually hear any of that. So that's what I did. The second thing after that is I added a SSL compressor, which I could have used a Native Instrument one, but it doesn't matter. I usually don't like passing anything, -4 on the compression. Usually below 4 is probably like I usually have it at 3, but in this case I just like the way it sounded, being compressed that much. That's why I left it like that. The third thing that I added, which I think it was, sometimes you add a plugin that you don't usually use all the time, and it just makes everything sounds great. So the third thing, I'm sorry, that I added was this bad boy right here, which is the Fab Filter Pro MB, and I was going through the presets. I mean, that's the first thing I usually do, go to the presets and see if one of them just land on it. And I usually go into the mastering or mix bus. So I went to the mastering and I didn't really find anything. So the mix bus is kind of like the same thing. The mix bus is basically the bus before the master. Like I said before, I was sending the beat into a bus and then the bus to the master. And then I was going through all of these. I mean, I skip all the EDM stuff because the EDM stuff, tend to just push all the high end up and kind of like keep the bass, low a bit, because EDM don't really have harmonics like that, at least most of it. And so I got to this one, Punch and Leveling 01. And I've tried these two, and this one was like the best one. And the minute I put that in, it's just the track just went from just being super leveled out and everything sounding super good. Last but not least, what I use on my my limiter, I like using this bad boy right here, which is Waves API. Wish I had the hardware for this, but the reprints that they did on this, they don't sound as good as the originals. One day maybe I'll go to the UK and find an original print on this and be able to have one in my studio. But until then, I will keep using the digital. And this is what I use right here. These are my presets, and that's about it. And last but not least, I use this bad boy right here, which is the UV22. Comes standard with Cubase. The reason why I use this is because this is for the dithering, the bitrate dithering. That's what this is for. A lot of people don't even know what that is, but I'm just letting you know this is very important. You don't want the software to actually do the dithering for you. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, but you want to do it yourself. So basically, if I am going to print a dot wave 16-bit, you'll put on 16-bit. If you're going to print a 24-bit, you'll put on 24. It doesn't matter if it's it does matter if it's an MP3, because MP3s you can do more than 16. But when you have it on dot wave or dot AIFF, you could do either 8, 16, 20, and 24. So you put it over here, so that way the program doesn't do it for you, because it doesn't really do a good job. And that's why they made this plugin, for the plugin to do the job. So when it come out, it's perfectly I'm gonna make this word out, ditherize. The point is that very useful plugin to use. And last but not least, right here, sometimes I forget, but it's always good to flip this chain. Make the strip go first and then the inserts last, because you are using the API or the limiter, final limiter on the inserts, not on the strip. Because if you were to make any change right now, then all this stuff will go before the strip. So you want to flip it so it could be the correct order. So that's what we got going on with this track. I did this track with a really good friend of mine, partner in crime. His name is Mozart Beats, aka Disco Dave, and we are going to be releasing this track very soon. I'm not sure if we're going to do it on my label, but I would like to release this on one of those big labels, like from the UK and stuff like that. So we are looking for some of those guys to pick this up. If you like this track and you're one of those guys, just leave a link in the comments, and I'll definitely get back to you. But this is a really cool track. Just a simple kick, disconstruct it real quick. Very hard kick. Then I have this percussion stuff. Very simple stuff. The clap. And on the clap right here, I got a reverb right under it, which I'm sending like negative 20.8. On the reverb, I got a Roomwork, very simple. Then I got the clap fill. That was the claps that I was passing all over the place earlier. Then I got this thing right here, which is like a snare. It just adds a different groove. Then we got the hi-hats. I got that being pan left and right. And what am I using? I'm using the Melda Productions multi-tremolo. I love this thing right here. It's one of the best tremolos out there. Highly recommend it. The next thing is another hi-hat. It's not really like a hi-hat. It's more like a shaker / hi-hat pan, something like that. Then right here I got a simple ride. And then right here some hi-hats. And together the ride and the hi-hat sounds really cool. Then right here I got some sweeps. Very simple stuff. Another sweep. It's already sampled the side chain, which is really cool to have stuff like that. Then there's a sweep up. Very simple stuff. Then I got an impact, kind of like a dark impact type thing. Check it out. Yeah, sounds like a industrial type of thing. And then I got this loop that's really cool. Then of course I added that Melda. No, I didn't add that. Oh, I thought I had. No, I just have a Roomworks reverb and a compressor. Yeah, just a simple compressor. Then this is the lead bass that I added. Very simple. And then I have after that another one, the lead bass. Then I filtered that one in. I wanted to just come in very slow so I could do the build up, and then as it goes up. So I have a Roomworks reverb and a fat filter, frequency filter. Then these are the samples of the vocals, and that's just about it. These are the group tracks, which I don't even know why I'm actually seeing them there. I should just have that stuff gone, so I'm gonna not see that. And then that's just about it. So bass. Okay, right, yeah, that's the one that I wanted to lower. Yeah, there's a part there that I need to keep. So now I could bring it down right here. That roll, that sounds really cool. So I basically just cut it on the MIDI and left it there. The reason why I have it on waveform mode right now is because you could manipulate the audio much easier by the envelopes and stuff like that, compared to like the MIDI. You would have to do automation, and I didn't want to go that far. I knew that the bass was going to stay like that because I'm already in love with it. I think it's a very cool groove. I'll let you guys listen to it real quick. It's a very cool groove. Yes, I play that. It's not a loop. Well, it is a loop, but it's not a a sound pack loop. I actually play that, and that's just about it, man. A very simple track. Usually, I will use to finalize the track. Usually I will have this over here, and then I will have the Magic. What's the name of this thing? By Sample Magic. AB Magic, I think it's called. Oh, Magic AB. My bad. Magic AB. So I will usually have this boy right here so I could A and B stuff, but I already heard the track, and you know what? Just for sakes, I am gonna load it up. Load up some tracks so I could use a reference to make sure that I'm pretty close. So I got some tracks over here that I really like to release. So. Weight over here. So the difference is my track has a little more punch than the track that I'm being with. This one has more of a more high-end frequencies. This one is more of underground factory type of track. But they sound very, very, very similar. I would definitely play these two tracks together. I got a couple of other tracks that I could listen to. One thing that I want to do on the kick, I want the attack on the kick, the transient on it, I want to bring it down a bit. So the way I'm going to do that is by going to Tools, going to Envelope Shaper, and on the attack, that sounds a little more quiet. So as good as you think your mix is always good to reference with something else. Because right now I would have never called that unless I would have went back and forth on the A and B, and which it was the kick was the kick transient. It was just too sharp, too in your face. It needed to come back a little bit so all the other elements could be heard a little more cleaner. And the thing about that part is that by me pushing the transient, I think that's what it's called, the transient, or the thump, not the thumb, more like the high end of the kick. Yeah, I would say the attack. I'm sorry, the attack of the kick. By me bringing it down, it kind of like made the hi-hats and all the other stuff stick out a little more because the kick is not so in your face. I mean, the kick is already in your face because it's one of the loudest, the loudest instrument in the mix, but you wanted to bring that part down so everything could coexist. So if we were to go towards the beginning where the kick is by itself, see, I can't even tell anymore that I fixed that. Yeah, but when I turn it back on, I could definitely tell the difference. Like, ooh, it's too much. So that's where we at right now. I'm gonna bounce this mix and I'm gonna live with it for a couple, and I'm pretty good at it. It took us about 3 hours to do this track. Like I said before, my friend Mozart Beats, he bought the idea, and then I just grabbed it and finished the whole thing, arranged it, and this is what we came up with. I think it sounds really cool. So I will definitely, once this track is released, I will add it in the description. So if you guys want to download it, go support, you can go do that. But it's not going to be out, not just yet. So there you have it. Any questions or whatever, leave it on the comments below. Please make sure you subscribe and like this video. We would extremely appreciate it. And most importantly, it will encourage me to continue to do these videos. All right, thank you so much, and I will check you guys on another video where I will be using Cubase 8.5, brand new.
You're listening to the sound of DJ Mac.